Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. You know what time it is, update time once again, and I am back with everything that you need to know about the July 2025 update in MCOC. Let's jump right in, starting off with number 1, the brand new champions for July, which are the High Evolutionary and the Maker. So these champions were revealed, I think, a week or more ago now. I know that they put these special 3 clips for both of these champs out on the official website. I can't recall offhand if they put video clips of like their movesets and whatnot out on social media. I think that they did, but I'm not sure. But either way, you know, art team, don't miss. These champions look incredible. Their special attacks look fantastic. High Evolutionary is a science champion. He looks very cool, a lot different than he looks or he looked like in the Guardians 3 movie, if you're familiar with that one. I especially like in his special 3 how he like whips out this pistol and he's got access to like all this like advanced like cool weaponry, but he like pulls out a Luger instead at the start. It was pretty funny. The Maker is going to be a tech champ, and straight up, this dude looks terrifying. If you haven't seen his special 3, go to the official website and look it up. It is the stuff of nightmares. Truly horrifying, but very, very excited for both of these champs. I think I'm leaning more towards the Maker. I feel like I jive more with like the tech class than I do with the science class right now. Tech class is just so stacked, a whole bunch of utility, and I'm really hoping that the Maker has some new kinds of utility to add to that class. Number 2, under a section they're calling Champion Updates, which isn't really champion updates. So we're going to be getting the suite of 2-star Doombots available to us this month somehow. No information here in the patch notes on how we're going to be getting these. I'm going to be assuming, as I'm recording this, that information on how to collect these Doombots may have been given out during the live stream. So if you didn't watch the live stream, it might be worth checking out to see if they talked about it in there. So if you remember, I think last year we got like all 6 of the 2-star hench pools. This is kind of like the same concept, only it's the Doombots instead. So I'm assuming they'll be probably having the same abilities that they have in game, but they're 2 stars, so there's really no way that they're going to be overpowered. It's really just for like, you know, collection purposes. So now that we're getting the Doombots, we already have the hench pools. I think, if memory serves, we're only missing out on the Sentinelloids and then the Ultron drones. So hopefully, you know, maybe towards the end of the year into next year, we can get the other 2 sets of those champions. That would be really cool. Really like that they're doing this. Again, you know, this is a collection game in addition to a fighting game, and getting like 6 champions for, you know, probably for free, even if they're only 2 stars, for me is very cool. Maybe someday they'll go nuts and give us some of those like MODOK lab champs, like Unstoppable Ant, I think was my favorite one. There was Night Carnage, there was Frank Strange, there was Punishing Angel. I think there were a couple more that I can't remember either. So as for, again, how we're getting these, no information available here. I'm going to assume that it's pretty easy. I don't really remember how we got the 2-star hench pools, but I do remember it taking like barely any effort at all. So I would expect that to continue with the Doombots. All right, number 3 is a brand new type of quest that they're calling the Squad Builder. I don't remember how much that they've shown off of this. I think that I've seen like a few screenshots here and there, and I remember it giving me like strong like card game vibes, if that makes sense if you're a card game player. So it looks like there will be like multiple instances of this quest or of this game mode, whatever you want to call it. The first one is going to be called the Fantastic Force Recruitment Event, and that will be coming later on in July. So everybody will be getting a set of 52 free 2-star champions, and maybe not a coincidence here that 52 is also the number of cards in a standard playing card deck. I just noticed that right now. So again, I'm guessing they'll be showing off gameplay of this quest, of this mode, during the live stream. So if you missed the live stream, go check the replay, or they usually like broadcast it again throughout like a 24-hour period, so you can hopefully get some more information on that. So the big prize for participating in this event is going to be a 7-star High Evolutionary. So a 7-star version of the newest champion in the game will be given out to at least one person. I don't know if it says a 7-star High Evolutionary, so I'm not sure if they're giving out more than one or what. Now I'm unsure if this is going to be like yet another event where the biggest spender is just going to take home the grand prize. That's usually how these events go. It's kind of deflating. You want to participate, you want to have fun, but you go into the event pretty much assuming that you have no chance of winning the 7-star high evolutionary. So why are you going to even try? So, them giving out 52 free 2-stars tells me that you're going to be using 2 stars in this quest, and that they're giving everybody the same 52. Kind of provides a little hope that maybe everybody will be on even footing for this, but again, who knows? Hopefully there'll be more information provided to us shortly, or maybe will have been already have been provided during that live stream event. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this, but in any case, 52 free 2-stars is definitely very cool if you're a champion collector like I am. Number 4 is Raids Month. So we talked about this a little bit in my video from yesterday, but for the month of July, AQ will be tabled, and instead we're going to be getting 4 straight weeks of raids. 4 straight weeks of raids. I don't know. Let's hope that it's better than the raids have been in recent months, because not looking forward to this, and they gotta show me that it's worth doing. So each week in raids, whether you're doing regular raids or nightmare raids, we'll have new bosses, new mini bosses. So each week will be different. Important thing to note here is that since we're doing raids for 4 weeks, we are getting 4 raid weeks worth of radiance. So raids week usually gives you more radiance than a week of AQ. Multiply that by 4, and if you participate in all 4 weeks of these raids, you're going to be eating pretty good. So make sure you're saving that radiance up. Go pick up that mastery point in the radiance store. I just got mine yesterday from the Alliance War season rewards, so now I'm free to use my radiance on some other stuff, or I might just save it up for 7-star magic, which I think is coming later this year. In addition, if your alliance is thinking about doing nightmare raids, I would highly encourage you to do so, because this is the time to try it out. If you go through all 4 weeks of the nightmare raids and you beat the boss, you get access to those Saga selector tokens, and then you can trade those in, like I talked about yesterday, for 1 of 5 rare and exclusive champions, including Mr. Sinister, including Ultron, both of whom are very, very good champions in that pool. So you're guaranteed one of those champions of your choice for free if you go through all 4 weeks of nightmare raids in July. All right, number 5, Incursions Saga Sector returns for the month of July. Saga Incursions are in a really good place. They've been a very fun time ever since Command reduced the requirement from 25 zones down to 15. It's a lot more manageable, a lot more fun, knowing that you only have to get so far and you don't have to go all the way to the end, which is very difficult. So a couple things to note about Incursions Saga Sector. You will need to do at least 10 zones in the Saga Sector in order to get the research grants that you want to trade in for 7-star Mr. Fantastic. So I think in the first 10 zones, there is 1 research grant. They've kind of noted that here. 1 research grant per zone. So you need to finish 10 zones in order to get all 10. And I think 100 are required for Mr. Fantastic, so that's 10% of what you need right there. So definitely don't miss out on that. In addition, you need to do all 15 zones to get a Shatter Essence for a 7-star Solvark, who is the latest idle champion. So the Shatter Essence is much more limited than the research grants are for Mr. Fantastics, and if you miss out on a piece of Solvark, you're going to have to either skip the champion or you're going to have to drop money on like the weekly deals in order to make up ground on that. So definitely don't miss the Incursions Saga Sector next month. Like I said a minute ago, Incursions are in a way better place than they were like a year ago. I find them pretty fun to screw around in, even like when the Saga Sector is not on. The rewards are fine, but I usually just like playing around with like, the big damage and the big hacks and whatnot. So definitely take a look at Incursions when it returns next month. Okay, number 6, this is a really big and very fun thing to talk about. Summoners Fest was announced for November 8th and 9th in Vancouver, British Columbia, and it is a live event that I am very, very excited for. I've been to Vancouver for official MCOC events twice now. I went last year in December, And then the year before that in 2023, I think it was in like October for the original Battlerealm Brawl. And it is such a good time. I promise you it is going to be worth it. If you can make it out to Vancouver this November, you're going to have a fantastic time. Vancouver is a beautiful city, and getting to meet and interact with the game team, the champion design team, shaking the hand of the designer who designed one of your favorite champions is a very cool experience. Just really, really cool. In addition, I know that they have a lot of like exclusive reveals planned, a lot of hands-on testing of stuff that isn't ready for public consumption. Like in 2023, we a group of us tested the very first version of raids, which was very cool. So yeah, a lot of stuff that you'll get like exclusive access to. A lot of fun. I will be there, and so will a lot of other like prominent community members, a lot of big creators, much bigger creators than me, of course. So going to be a good time. I hope to see you there. Now, the main focus of this event is, of course, going to be the return of the Battlerealm Brawl, which they had 2 years ago, again, back in 2023, with Fintech walking away as the champion. So seasons 30 and 31 of Battlegrounds will serve as qualifiers for this event. I don't know how many participants they're looking to have for this year. I'm guessing maybe to be like the top 5 Celestial players from both seasons. And then if there are like any like people doubling up, they'll just take like the next person down. So maybe like 10 to 12. I'm guessing this is a total guess. I have no idea how many people they're looking to send to this thing. But if you've watched Battlegrounds on YouTube, and I know Battlegrounds on YouTube is very popular, Battlegrounds Live is like a whole different experience. Like, you guys know, if you follow this channel, I do not care much for Battlegrounds. I don't play it very often. I play it as little as possible, in fact. But being in Vancouver for the Battlerealm Brawl Live, and just being like in a room full of other MCOC players who are all sharing like the same passion that I have for this game, it's really, really cool. I think it was in one of the championship rounds. It was Fintech versus Pepe. And Pepe left Tigra unbanned. And, as soon as she came up in the draft, he picked her right away. And getting to see, like, the Tigra master play her to perfection live was very, very cool for me. So experiences like that, you really can't get anywhere else, certainly not on YouTube. So last thing that I want to say about Summoners Fest is that they will be having some sort of realm event related to this. I think it's going to start, looks like it's going to start alongside Season 30, which should be in a couple weeks here, right at the start of July. Realm events are typically very good, usually have a lot of very good rewards, so the community can kind of work together and earn all that stuff together. So very cool. Very much looking forward to the Battlerealm Brawl, to Summoners Fest in November, and I definitely hope to see you there as well. Okay, number 7, I don't know how we're supposed to follow up the Summoners Fest with anything else, but the Alliance War Showcase is returning for the month of July. This has been kind of one of my favorite pieces of returning content. They do this like every few months, once per saga. If you're new to the Alliance War Showcase, the idea here is that the quest is designed to give players a taste of what high-tier Alliance War is like. So there's a quest, there's 2 paths. One path usually has just random, difficult defenders, and the other has like a bunch of tactic defenders. So the Alliance War tactics come into play here. You'll need to choose a team of 3 champions, go through your path with those 3 champs, and then there's a swap node right before the boss that you can swap in a new champ for the boss if you want to. Now, the defense tactic for the Dark Phoenix Saga was Genesis, which conveniently was also the victory track meta for this past season of Battlegrounds. So if you played through the victory track, you also already kind of have like a decent idea of what to expect from Genesis, and then from the tactic attackers, which are Coda, I think is what the name is. So if you are looking for characters to rank up for the good. If you're looking for good tactic attackers to rank up ahead of this quest, Negasonic is really, really strong. Dust, Dazzler, those are probably like the 3 overall best mutants in the attack tactic. Mystics really shine though. So Purgatory, Isophene, Kushala, Spiral, Hood, all these very, very good options. If you don't have any of them ranked up, there's a whole bunch more available in the tactic pool, of course. But those are some of the ones that came to mind immediately. Now, the last showcase that they did have a serpent on the map, so you should probably expect maybe another one. He was a popular placement during this tactic, these 2 seasons of this tactic. Perhaps also might expect a Deathless Thanos boss. If I were designing this quest, I would put Deathless Thanos somewhere in there, boss or not. I would put him in there. He was a very meta defender during this tactic. So very much looking forward to this. And you, of course, can look forward to a guide for the Alliance War Showcase on the day of or shortly thereafter. All right, number 8 is this month's extensive list of bug fixes. Apparently no improvements this month. We're just looking at bug fixes. So as usual, I will only cover a few of these. If you want to read through them, you can pause the video as I'm scrolling or head over to the official website and they'll all be listed there in the patch notes. First one I'm going to cover is the second bullet point here, which is a lot of words to describe what they basically summarize in this last sentence here. When you glance a special ability because of basic glances. So the idea here is that when you're fighting a champion or a node with glancing, if you launch a special attack after a basic attack glances, then the special glances as well. So they've made a global fix to glancing that will prevent the ability accuracy reduction from triggering on the special attack. So the glancing will still prevent the damage, I think, but your abilities will not fail from the special attack just because the basic attack that you used before it glanced. I hope I'm kind of explaining that well. I think if you've experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'm not sure how I can explain it a little bit better, but glancing is a pretty popular defensive mechanic, and if you ask me, it's a plague on this game. So less glancing is better for everybody as far as I'm concerned. All right, the second one I want to cover here is this one here, colloquially known as the Silk Lock. It says, fixed an issue where several champions like Silk and Deathless Thanos could continuously combo a cornered opponent on 60 FPS despite having a special 3 available. So you know what the Silk Lock is. Deathless Thanos apparently could do it too. I didn't know that until just now, but the idea is that you can basically get an opponent into the corner and just heavy them continuously, and it's her heavy attack or their heavy attacks are so fast that they don't have any frames available to use their special 3. So that has been changed. Silk, way too strong with the Silk Lock. If you're surprised that they've changed this, I don't know what to tell you. So it was definitely a little bit abusive. So no more Silk Lock. Big win for everybody. They did an additional optimization pass on the Lotan boss fight. So hopefully people who are still experiencing lag during that fight from the Maelstrom will experience less of it. No word or notes on whether or not they can apply these changes to Dust, which is a big problem for me. I have a rank 4 Dust and still I have a brand new iPhone and she still just like chugs it along sometimes. You trigger Sandstorm and my frames drop to like 10 per second. It's crazy. So hopefully when they figure out what works for Lotan, they can apply those changes to Dust as well. I think that's all the ones that I wanted to cover specifically. There's a few others here for Future Ant-Man. There's one for Yelena Belova. There's one down here for Necropolis Storm Pyramid X. So if you're interested in those, be sure to pause the video and take a look. Last but certainly not least is the Stat Focus Rebalance. So I think this was announced already, but I'll cover it anyways, just in case you didn't see it. So if you've played around with Stat Focus, which is a mechanic limited to 7-star champions, chances are the vast majority of your champions are running crit rate for offense and block pen for defense. And I think that's pretty much like the default stat focus for every champ in the game. So the changes here are seemingly designed to make the other stat focuses on both attacker and defender much more appealing. So you can see that block pen here was reduced defensively from 6% to 4%. I think that's the only one that was tuned down. The rest of them were tuned up. So we get a bump to special damage. Crit damage got a 5% increase, which I really find compelling. That one and the 2 energy or the 2 resistance ones got a hefty bump as well. So I do run physical resistance on a few champions. I've run energy resistance during this past season of War when I was fighting Dark Phoenix, which I really thought it was helpful. But this crit damage getting a 5% bump I think is really, really appealing to me. So crit rate is not changing, but I might have to go through champions who already have a high crit rate and change their stat focus to crit damage. On the defender side, chances are most people will just stick with block pen because in terms of defenders, block pen is still going to be the most dangerous stat focus here. Yeah, nothing else really stands out. You can make an argument that resistance might, increase survivability in a Battlegrounds fight, but I don't think that on the defense side, this is going to do enough to get people to stop using block pen. But, we'll see what happens. So the biggest remaining problem with stat focus, I think, is that it is locked for the whole quest, which means if you forget to set it on a champion before you enter a quest, you're kind of out of luck. And I did bring this up in the CCP server. It sounds like they don't want people to feel like that they have to change stat focus on a per fight basis. And some people absolutely would be doing that, like just min-maxing the hell out of stat focus. And it sounds like they want to avoid that. So maybe they'll change their minds on it. I would like to be able to do that. I don't think I would do it all the time because it would be super tedious. But the ability or the opportunity or the option to do it, rather, that's the word I was looking for. The option to do it, I think, would be pretty cool. That's going to do it for July, a jam-packed month. Let me know in the comments below what you are most excited about, be it High Evolutionary or the Maker, or if you're excited to add to your 2-star collection with the Doombots. If you're curious about this new squad builder quest that they're introducing next month, or if you're looking forward to 4 straight weeks of raids or whatever it is, let me know again in the comments below. Be sure to hit like and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.